2,500 years ago in India, a prince called Siddhartha renounced his princely life to seek for wisdom capable of removing the suffering of all beings. After 6 years, Prince Siddhartha realized the truth. He was known as the Buddha, a person who has fully attained wisdom, the enlightened one. In a place called Deer Park, Buddha gave his first teaching. At that time, there was no Buddhism. It was the compassionate one, sharing his wisdom with his first 5 disciples. Inspired to return Buddhism back to its open and non-sectarian roots, Dzongtsar Khyentse Rinpoche started an institute and named it Deer Park. Surrounded by the Himalayas, wheat fields, tea gardens, and monasteries in Kangra Valley, Deer Park is an ideal place for students to study and contemplate.
One, we have to be non-sectarian, not only within the different Buddhist schools. We should be non-sectarian with different Buddhist, different nationalities. As second, we should not be sectarian between Buddhism and the rest of the art. I think the art, the music, anything to do with the creativity can be used, can be added.
As a Buddhist institute, Deer Park also aspires to bring the spirit of the renowned ancient Buddhist university called Nalanda back to India. From the 5th to 12th centuries of the Common Era, Nalanda was a center for deep learning, practice of Buddhism, and other classical Indian philosophies in Asia. It had attracted 10,000 monks and 1,500 scholars at one time. Teachings in Nalanda carried the same openness that the Buddha had taught. Scholars sharpened their understanding through discussion and debate. Students were encouraged to learn through questioning, contemplation, and the practice of meditation. All the classical schools of Indian philosophy, along with other schools of Buddhist thought, were studied in depth in Nalanda. Sanskrit grammar, logic, astrology, medicine, mathematics, and later tantric studies were compulsory in the curriculum. Students were also encouraged to study various arts and sciences. To support Khyentse Rinpoche's vision of bringing the spirit of Nalanda back to India, many renowned teachers from a spectrum of Buddhist schools have come to Deer Park to give teachings. We hope in the future to welcome teachers from other schools of Indian philosophy.
In a small space, in a very small practical way, we have been very fortunate to have teachers from all the 4 schools of Tibetan Buddhism, such as Samdong Rinpoche, Geshe Lagdorla, Sogyal Rinpoche, Mingyur Rinpoche, and Dzongsa Khyentse Rinpoche. We have also tried to bring teachers from the Theravadan tradition, such as Venerable Agachita, and from the Soto Zen tradition of Japan, such as Venerable Sudamachara. Of late, we've been also trying to bring in teachers from the other philosophical traditions of classical Indian philosophy, from the Advaita tradition, Jain tradition, Samkhya tradition.
We also organize meditation retreats guided by teachers from a diversity of Buddhist schools.
When we meet each other, all traditions meet each other, I think meditation is a key point. Because if we start discussing, this discussion will become endless, But if we meditate together, then of course all Buddhist traditions are offering so many kinds of meditation methods, But the most important thing is we practice together with completely open mind, without any judgment, without any preconception about other tradition,
To highlight our art retreats, we have artists and poets giving workshops and talks. Students are encouraged to experience Dharma through various art forms and share their group presentations.
As I told my students the other day, the pen is our Vajra and the notebook is our bell. Poetry being the guardian of speech. Buddha spoke of three jewels: body, speech, and mind. And most of the Buddhist teachings, even though they occur through the medium of speech, focus on mind, focus on body. And I think poetry's role is really to be the guardian of speech within the context here.
To provide schools for studying philosophies, we also have language classes.
Different classical Indian texts, many of which have been destroyed and no longer available in the Sanskrit tradition but have been preserved in the Tibetan tradition.
我更期许，鹿野苑将来不但是世界的文化艺术的交流中心，更在仁波切的引领下，还有很多新学轮的带动下，可以让鹿野苑成为一个心灵的净化、洗涤和升华的摇篮。
I come to sometimes interesting retreat or some meet friend, discuss about spirituality, discuss about Buddhism, and I get some knowledge from people. Also, I have some knowledge, my Buddhism knowledge, give them. It's quite nice.
That we hope Deer Park would be a kind of a refuge for, a place for, where artists can meet, spiritual seekers can meet, and where what is so much needed today, there can be an interfaith dialogue. So first let us start with our own Buddhism, the Zen, the Theravadins, the Mahayana, the Vajrayana,
Because of the ecological concerns of the area, Deer Park also works actively with the local Indian and Tibetan communities through various community projects.
We here at Deer Park feel a very strong responsibility to the environment and to the society around us. We've been involved with the local community by running different ecology workshops, training local youth in waste management. We've been running a series of workshops in the local government schools involving waste. We've also been involved in working with farmers on different biodiversity issues, on seed conservation issues. We invite everyone from different parts of the world, from all walks of life, to come here and benefit from these ancient wisdom traditions that have been preserved and that are still being practiced in this part of the world.